Hello friends. Welcome everyone to your channel, the Erzon Front. Okay friends, today is March 2nd, 2026, and this is an update on the latest events that are taking place in the conflict in the Middle East. It is an update on what has most recently happened, because many things have happened. Practically every minute things are happening. Yesterday, we had a live program that apparently was really well received, but we have to keep broadcasting. This is a somewhat shorter video. For now, we want to make this update because many things have occurred during the last hours. We must say that the residence or the office of the Prime Minister of Israel, Benjamin Netanyahu, has been attacked by Iranian missiles, apparently, or by drones. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps itself states this in a communique, but Netanyahu was not there. As if that were not enough, not one but three, I repeat, 3 aircraft from the United States Air Fleet in the Middle East, F-15 aircraft, have been shot down. We are going to see the circumstances under which that happened and the statement that even the United States itself expresses. Of course, important infrastructure in Iran has been hit, but Iran has responded by attacking even energy infrastructure in the heart of Saudi Arabia, where the largest refinery in the entire Middle East, the Aramco refinery, has been completely struck. The Fifth Fleet of the United States has also been hit in Bahrain. The strikes on the United Arab Emirates continue. There is a great possibility that European countries will get involved in this war. We will see what happens, dear friends. But before starting, I want to greet all the people who listen to me from anywhere in the world, especially the friends who are subscribers to our channel. Having said all that, dear friends, let us begin. Let us begin with images first of the attacks by the Extend Coalition on Iran, the Extend Coalition, to which other countries may also soon join, especially European countries, the CIOs as always. But well, here are images of the strikes by Israeli aviation against positions in Iran. The strikes in Iran continue. This is truly a very strong war, a missile war, a bombing war with no advances on the ground. Evidently, it is not like the war in Ukraine, which is a totally different war. The war in Ukraine also includes the taking of territory, well, liberation if one wishes, by Russia in Ukraine. In this case, these are missile wars, missile exchange wars, exchange of strikes, but what I can tell you is that the United States was not prepared for this. Well, we continue with the attacks. They thought it was going to be easy. It has not been easy, and it is true. I say it once again here on this channel, they have done a lot of damage in Iran. It is not that they think we are blind. A tremendous amount of damage has been done in Iran, starting with the fact that they have eliminated the supreme leader. That alone is already quite something, right? They have also done a lot of damage to the missile program. They have struck the headquarters of the general staff. They have struck the headquarters of the police. They have also struck what has to do with the branches of the Ministry of Defense. They have eliminated many leaders in Iran, as now, like these images you see in the area of Sanandak, which has been among the most heavily hit. Western Iran has been fundamentally struck by Israel. Yes, this entire area, but the central area and the capital itself, Tehran, have been struck mainly by the United States and also by Israel. Here come strikes by the Israeli Air Force on air defense systems in Iran. There we can see them. That is to say, we show both sides. What is certain is that the Western press hides the powerful strikes that Iran is delivering, and here we do show them. That is to say, we are going to show everything. We are not going to say only that Iran is being destroyed. We are also going to say that the United States bases throughout the Middle East are being completely devastated. We are going to say that Israel is literally being burned in this war. They are being taught an incredible lesson. We're going to put this video now. More strikes by the Extend Coalition on Iran in different areas of the geography. We go to the capital. The capital has also been hit in the last hours. We have information. This is Tehran, dear friends. Another strike on one of the general staff headquarters in Tehran as well. Look at how the smoke rises completely. These are strikes carried out by F-35 aircraft. F-16 and F-15 aircraft have also participated. The magnitude of the strikes by this coalition cannot be denied. We are talking about two countries with ultra-modern weaponry, such as the United States and Israel. However, be careful because, I repeat, Iran has the means to respond, and look, it really does have the means to respond because they miscalculated. There is an evident miscalculation by the United States. They thought it was going to be easy, and now quite a few countries are involved here. Remember in yesterday's live video where we talked about at least 15 countries being targets of the United States, or that at least 15 countries would be being attacked. These here are real strikes, devastating ones, I am not going to deny it, by Israeli and United States aircraft against positions in the capital. Here we are showing them without any kind of cover-up. Here we are showing them without any doubt. Here we show everything, dear friends. And above all, as you know, the strength of our program is maps, videos, statements, so that we are located as to where, at what exact point the bases are being hit, in which country, so that we also know in which part of the Gulf, and all these countries, because they are very small countries, all these countries except Iran, right? All those countries in the Middle East are small countries that sometimes many of us do not know where they are located, but with a military and geopolitical front you will know where they are located. And well, it is true, they have hit Iran hard. That is no less true, but I said it, Iran is prepared. Iran is prepared, dear friends. Here in Bushehr there is also another strike, and now we are going to show you images that also reveal that Iranian media have continued today with their attacks as always on different bases, but fundamentally highlighting the attacks on United States bases in Iraq above all, and well, of course, the attacks on Israel, which we will be showing. It has been heavily hit, even the residence or the office of Benjamin Netanyahu. Vivi Netanyahu has also been hit. The war has reached Netanyahu, but he is evidently hiding in a bunker. Kuwait, extremely important Kuwait, because 3 F-15S were shot down today, and we are going to show it. 3 F-15S have been shot down. Strikes on the United States Fifth Fleet in Bahrain. Also strikes again in the United Arab Emirates, strikes in Qatar, strikes of all kinds. Iran has the means, and indeed it has the means to defend itself against those who thought this would be an easy walk. But the direct strike on the Aramco refinery in Saudi Arabia is very striking. Aramco has been completely hit. The smoke is still dense. Let's look at this video that Iranian media released yesterday. Iran reveals this video showing how it is achieving so many attacks and striking so effectively, undermining the United States of America, the largest military power in the world. How are they undermining them? How are they disrupting Israel? How are they completely confusing these armies? Here is a massive fleet of Jerem drones, as you can see, in a well-hidden underground tunnel, very smart on Iran's part to keep them like this. And the moment of launching all these drones and objects flying at high speed over different targets across the region. Here come images, more images of how these drones are being launched. Very clever, right? On Iran's part. And well, here are strikes on all the infrastructure. Bahrain, United Arab Emirates, Qatar, Oman, Saudi Arabia, Israel. Of course, I do not refer to the countries themselves, nor am I mocking them, but to the military targets in these countries. These videos are extremely interesting. We have them on our Telegram channel. You can watch them there if you wish, dear friends. Spectacular images of the Garin causing havoc again, this time in the Middle East. Iran has released these videos. And well, the Iraqi militia also revealed how they attacked in direct response to the deaths of all these heroes. Hassan Nasrallah, General Soleimani, who died quite some time ago, specifically following an attack on the United States. Ayatollah Khamenei and pro-Iranian militias in Iraq showed how they, as revealed, were the pro-Iranian militias in Iraq attacking the U.S. base in Harville, Iraq, which burned and is still burning heavily, as we also saw yesterday on our geopolitical military front channel. Harville, dear friends, struck by pro-Iranian militias also in Iraq. And we have Israel. Let's begin with the attacks that have also occurred today, especially in Israel. Israel has been heavily hit, we must say very heavily hit. Today Tel Aviv has been hit again. But the most interesting is this statement reported in different media. Iran launched an attack against Netanyahu's office this morning according to the Islamic Revolutionary Guard Corps. The Iranian Revolutionary Guard Corps claims that its latest missile attack targeted Netanyahu's office and the location of Israeli Air Force commander in a surprise attack. As you can see, dear friends, they struck Netanyahu unexpectedly, but he was not there. Unfortunately, Netanyahu was not present. I say unfortunately because honestly, I think the entire world is already tired of this man's madness. But well, Netanyahu's office was attacked in these strikes revealed by Iran. Strikes in the northern zone, also strikes as we saw yesterday in Jerusalem, other strikes also in Holon, others in Tel Aviv. The reality is that Israel is being hit, and we have images, last-minute images. Beersheba, one of the most affected in the last hours. Brutal destruction of Israel. What did Israel think would happen? They are not used to being hit this way. They are used to striking Palestinians who have no means to defend themselves. Here is the war in the skies over Beersheba. This is Beersheba in Israeli territory. Direct strike in Beersheba. Tremendous strike. Israel attacked forcefully by Iran. The reality is that the war returns to the doorstep of the one who started it. Israel started this war jointly with the United States. Iran returns the strike. More images. This is Beersheba, apparently a war in the skies. And look at the direct Iranian strike crossing the Iron Dome. Many mock the Iron Dome, and honestly, it is somewhat laughable because the Iron Dome is failing. It is failing, not as ironclad as they claim. Here are Iran's strikes attacking forcefully, responding to the aggression of the extended coalition. Direct strike again. Israel is being brutally hit, and now comes one of the most spectacular moments of the day. And dear friends, we must tell you that Iran has shot down. Well, not Iran exactly. Let's state the reality. According to the United States, apparently. Let's see what the U.S. Central Command says. Let's read it. First, let's locate where this happened. This occurred. Let's place it on the map. Remember, we love maps. Kuwait, very famous for the Gulf War, right? Kuwait, very close to Iran, bordering Iraq, famous for the Gulf War. 3 F-15S were shot down, but note, 3 U.S. F-15S according to U.S. Central Command were shot down by mistake. They say by mistake. According to the Central Command, U.S. Central Command reports that Kuwaiti Air Defense Forces mistakenly shot down 3 U.S. F-15 fighter jets over Kuwait. By fire, my friends, reported U.S. Central Command. That is how it was reported. This was in Kuwait, and we have spectacular images of the fall. Remember that famous movie, Black Hawk Down? Here we show the fall of the F-15. And look at how the F-15 falls. The fall of the F-15, dear friends, in Kuwait. This is one of the three, although it is reported that the pilots managed to eject from the falling F-15. There we can see it completely down. It falls beautifully. Here comes the strike on the F-15 in Kuwait. Descends, falls. Yes, free fall. The fall, right? Black Hawk Down, the fall of the F-15. Here again is how one of the three falls because there are 3 F-15S shot down, as you can see. Images from geopolitical military front. We bring them here firsthand, of course, as always. Here is the Black Hawk fall, the fall of the F-15, so to speak. More images of the fall. This was another F-15. This is another. Notice it falls in another place. This is the second F-15 shot down. 2. See? 2. There are 3. We don't have the third. We have 2, but not the third. The fall of the F-15S in Kuwait. And here is the moment when one of the pilots descends by parachute. There we can see it. Exclusive images. We have them on our Telegram channel if you want to see them. More images of the F-15 fall. Well, I think we have had enough, right? The pilot managed to eject. This is one of the pilots, though there are more pilots. We have images of 3 pilots, in fact, which we will show next. Important. The war is costing the United States a lot. Yes, it is no secret. It is costing them quite a lot, very much. They thought this would be a walk. Not a walk, not a walk, absolutely not a walk. This is one of the pilots. Before moving to the phases in Bahrain, let's show images of the pilots shown here. This is one of the pilots, this is another pilot, and this is the third pilot. 3 pilots ejected managed to survive, but they were shot down. By the way, now speaking of pilots, today the U.S. Central Command also stated that a 4th U.S. service member has died in combat, the number still rising. That is, there are now 4, and I am sure there are many more, and over the coming days many more will appear. What a predicament the President of the United States has gotten himself into. The 4th service member, who had been seriously injured during Iran's initial attacks, has finally died from his wounds. Major combat operations continue, and our response efforts remain ongoing. The identities of the fallen will be kept confidential until 24 hours after the closest family members have been notified. Caught in a serious problem, the United States does not know how to justify these deaths. We leave Kuwait and move to one of the most spectacular images, or rather, we go to Bahrain. Bahrain has been very heavily hit today, truly heavily. The truth is, Iran is unleashed, we must say. These are U.S. bases in Bahrain. The U.S. bases burn beautifully, completely struck by missiles and drones that come from all directions, with no clear origin. The United States must be saying, well, we are not prepared for this. Indeed, Iran has surprised us. They have hit us where it hurts most. Above all, dear friends, there is the financial disaster occurring across. Well, remember that there are many financial centers in the United Arab Emirates and in Qatar, small monarchies, but with wealth that one wishes Latin American countries had. Qatar, the UAE, and Oman, well, all these countries, especially the UAE and Qatar, tremendous, especially for oil, with many investments in these countries, particularly U.S. investments. In this case, Iran is attacking all of this, not just the bases. Here we have images of the U.S. Fifth Fleet attacked in Bahrain. The Fifth Fleet burns in Bahrain, completely decimated by Iranian attacks, and I continue to say that I am genuinely surprised by Iran's enormous capacity to defend itself. Black cube burns at the Fifth Fleet base, completely ablaze, and the United States brought this upon themselves. Other impacts in Bahrain, and there is much more, much more. Bahrain is completely burning. Here we have images of the Fifth Fleet, which we have already seen. Apocalyptic images, dear friends, in Bahrain. The truth is they did not expect it, they did not anticipate this level of Iranian response. They have been caught by surprise. This is the naval support activity, also in Bahrain, heavily hit, one of the hardest hit, completely burning, causing much fear. Now come images that will surprise us. This is the Aramco refinery in Ras Tanura, in the Kingdom of Saudi Arabia, also heavily hit. Let's locate the base. Here, it is basically in this area. And the truth is that Saudi Arabia has been very surprised and heavily hit by these Iranian strikes. Here are images of Ras Tanura, completely burning, the largest and most important refinery. This will drive oil prices up. Yesterday, they said it would rise to $100. Today, I do not know, maybe $150. The oil price will soar, affecting the entire world. But whose fault is it? It is not Iran's fault. It is the fault of the United States, who started this entire madness, and also Israel, of course. Strike on Saudi Arabia, strike on the Aramco refinery, completely ablaze, and these are truly apocalyptic images. Aramco 1 completely burning. Now Iran is even focusing on energy infrastructure. Many images, truly. It has been a day full of images, dear friends. F-15S shot down. Attack on Netanyahu'S office in Israel, the U.S. Fifth Fleet hit. Lethal. Iran is being lethal in these attacks. We must state it that way, without fear of being wrong. Also, the death toll continues to rise, but be careful, because now Europeans may want to intervene. Germany is considering participating in the war against Iran. Imagine that, the Germans with their depleted arsenals. No emails. Correspondent from Israeli radio Gaily Thale reported that Germany is seriously considering joining the campaign against Iran. The condition is that Iran does not stop bombings in the region. Sources from the German Foreign Ministry and members of the Bundestag Foreign Affairs Committee confirmed that joint planning with the United States has already begun. Scenarios range from participation in bombings to air and military support. It is also reported that German Chancellor Merkel is expected to meet with Trump at the White House today, March 2nd precisely. Not only Germany, but also France. France is preparing to intervene in the Gulf War. Foreign Minister Barrot stated Paris's willingness to participate in defending Gulf countries. Remember, the French naval fleet was attacked yesterday. Yes, important. According to him, the Élysée Palace expresses full support and solidarity with countries struck by missiles and drones from the Iranian Revolutionary Guard. Paris is willing to act within existing agreements with its partners and under the principles of collective self-defense under international law. There is thus a high probability that European countries will enter the war. Remember that yesterday, Iranian missiles unintentionally landed in Cyprus. Cyprus is a European Union country. Important to note, Cyprus is not a Gulf country. Cyprus is part of the European Union and was unintentionally hit, which Iran clarified. But the war is spilling over everywhere. Today, more images emerged of another tanker. Gabriel has been hit. More tankers hit, more strikes, more ships sunk. Oil prices are going through the roof. They are already high and will continue to rise. But I repeat, it is not Iran's fault, although many want to blame it on them. The fault lies with the United States. For now, dear friends, we have concluded this brief video, though I promise that later tonight in the Americas, around 7 p.m., maybe a little earlier, we will do a live broadcast covering everything that has happened today, because so much is happening. I want to tell you, a lot is happening. Our Telegram channel is fully active, and every second something different occurs. We cannot do so many live streams. We have to do one that summarizes everything. I invite you to join that live stream, which we will announce on our Telegram channel. Also, we will post it on YouTube when it is ready. Now, I also want to mention that the conflict in Ukraine has not ended. The conflict in Ukraine continues. Several towns have fallen today. We will not discuss that now. This video is exclusively about the Middle East. So, dear friends, what we will do is have a live stream later. Shortly, we will have a video on the war in Ukraine. After this video, we will post a video about the Ukraine war. We cannot fail to mention the Ukrainian conflict. I know all eyes are now on the Middle East, but our channel policy is not to stop reporting on Ukraine. So perhaps in about 3 hours we will have a video on the Ukraine war and later a live stream, as our subscribers like to participate in chat and discuss the F-15 shootdowns or the attack on Netanyahu. We will have a live stream later, after the Ukraine video, on what is happening in the Middle East war. But for now, we say goodbye, dear friends. That's all for now, just for now. Yes. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe to the Erzon Front so that notifications for our daily videos reach you. Okay, friends, thank you very much for your attention, and may God bless you all. See you in the next program.